Okay, group, this is our Solve by Factoring Lesson 1 notes. So here we're going to talk about something called the zero product law. What this law says is that if two or more quantities have a product of 0, then at least one of them must be equal to 0. Here's what this means, okay? So if A times B equals 0, then either A equals 0 or B equals 0, or both can be equal to 0. So let's put this into practice here. So say we had a quadratic function, x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Well, what this is saying is that the factor x plus 7 equals 0, or the factor x minus 2 equals 0, or both of them do. So what we do is we take those two separately and we set them equal to 0. What this allows us to do is to solve these, so I can subtract 7 here, and I know that one of my x-intercepts, or my solutions for my quadratic function up here, is -7. Here, if I solve this one, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. My other solution is x equals 2. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to pull up Desmos. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in our quadratic. So x squared plus 5x minus 14. Okay, so what I want you to notice here, and it says in part B, now graph the function on Desmos, what do you notice? If you tap on the x-intercepts, they are exactly what we just solved for, -7 and +2. So this zero product law allows you to do the algebraic part of seeing where your graph crosses the x-axis, which is kind of cool. So we'll say the x-intercepts or solutions are what we solved for in part A. Okay, so solutions. There are other names for them. The primary one is x-intercepts. Okay, so whether we say solutions or x-intercepts, it means the same thing. If you see the word zeros, that's another way of saying it, or roots. So all of those mean exactly the same thing. It just means where does your graph cross the x-axis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into number 2. Move this over. Okay, so number 2, we have to factor this. So we can choose to do GCF, split the middle, or difference of squares. We're going to go ahead and do split the middle because it's a trinomial. So for split the middle, we take the first number times the second number, the first number times the last number. Okay, and we get all of our different factors. So we know we can do 2 and 6 or 6 and 2. Since they're negative, we have to do both options here. 1 and 12, and then 4 and 3. Okay, so there's all of our options. We want to find the combination that adds to +4. That adds to +4. So here, if I do -2 plus 6, I would get +4, and that's the only combination that would work there. So we're going to split our middle terms into -2x plus 6x. So this +4 became -2x plus 6x. I'm going to drop down my -12, and I'm going to drop down my x squared. Okay, and then I can group. Here, I have an x in common, so I'm going to factor that out of those first two. Here, I have a 6 in common, so I can take that out. I'm running out of room there, but that's okay. Right, so now I'm left with x plus 6, right there. That becomes one of my answers, and then x minus 2 is my other. Now, just like we did up here for number 1, we're going to set both of these equal to 0 and use our zero product law. So here I would subtract 6. Here I would add 2. So our x-intercepts, or our roots, are -6 and positive 2. Now you might start to notice a trend. This x plus 6 gave us x equals negative 6. X minus 2 gave us x equals positive 2. All we're doing is flipping the sign. If you get used to that, it's kind of nice because you won't always have to write this out. All right, now we want to go ahead and check it in Desmos. So we're going to edit, I'm going to see if I can edit the one that's already in here and not have to retype everything. Excellent. Okay, so let's check and make sure. Yep, negative 6, positive 2 for our x-intercepts or our roots. The vertex is that turning point. So down here it's at negative 2, negative 16. And then our y-intercept is right here at 0, negative 12.